just protecting my innocence. I'm just protecting my soul. I'm never gonna let you close to me, even though you mean the most to me. 'Cause every time I open up it hurts. So I'm never gonna get too close to you, even when I mean the most to you, in case you go and leave me in the dirt. But every time you hurt me, the less that I cry. And every time you leave me, the quicker this tears dry. And every time you walk out.
Okay, let's call it a minute. 1 minute.
It's sad, but it's true. I'm way too good at goodbyes. I'm way too good at goodbyes.
If you have a mobile, please make sure that it's muted.
I'm way too good at goodbyes. No, 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 no way that you'll see me cry. I'm way too good at goodbyes. 'Cause every time you hurt me, the less that I cry. And every time you leave me, the quicker this tears dry. And every time you walk out the
Welcome.
less I love you.
Welcome graduates, parents, family, special guests, staff, and the wider ISPP community. My name is Murray Polglaze, and I'm the secondary principal here at the International School of Phnom Penh. Well, we made it. There have been many iterations of this event, but I'm happy that we were able to have this ceremony live today, and consequently, I would like to start by publicly thanking the Cambodian Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health for allowing us to celebrate the graduation of our class of 2020 together here in the Black Box today. I would also like to express our condolences for all those families around the world that have lost a loved one, and for the many people that are in the midst of fighting the virus. Just to describe the setting for those watching our live stream. We are here in the Black Box, spread out, socially distancing, sitting on plastic chairs, wearing our face masks, except for me because I'm talking. Our lives have changed. Face masks, hand sanitizer, social distancing, travel restrictions have quickly become our new way of living. Education has changed. We are becoming adept at using Zoom, Google Meets. We know to mute ourselves if we're not speaking, and we can quickly toggle our cameras on and off. We have turned our homes into offices and our bedrooms into classrooms. It is amazing at how quickly we have adapted to our new environment. For our graduates, it has been a very difficult year. With the cancellation of the Marissa events, ISTA, swim meets, their final day of school and all its fun, the awards assembly, simply saying goodbye to friends, and so much more. Semester 2 has been challenging. In addition to this, there's the unprecedented ISPP exams, which represents the culmination of their final 2 years' work. For our graduates, it must have been met with mixed emotions. Perhaps joy at not having to complete their exams, but I also imagine disappointment at the lack of opportunity to prove to everyone and themselves what they are capable of. I imagine among you there is a lot of anxiety surrounding the next step to post-secondary education. How will the IB calculate my results? Will my results get me into university? Will my university be open to face-to-face classes, or will I be studying online? Can I fly to where I need to be? Your parents must be anxious of the thought of you moving to a different country, being so far away. We are living in a rapidly changing world, where there are many unknowns. I'm an optimist. I honestly believe there will be many positives that will come out of recent events. These are unprecedented times in which the world population is sharing the same challenges. Right at this point in time, there are billions of people whose lives have been affected in similar ways to ours. We share the same experiences, the same concerns, the same challenges, the same dreams. Never before in my lifetime have we had an event to remind ourselves that we have so much in common with each other. It is with this thought that I turn to our graduates. It is your generation that will soon be making its mark on the world. You, as ISPP graduates, are truly at an advantage in today's environment. You who have intimate knowledge of working with different cultures. You who are truly internationally minded and understand that people are not limited by their colour or their culture. You who truly understand that all cultures should be celebrated for what they can share. You certainly have the benefit and experience of working with people from diverse backgrounds. With your experience and knowledge, you can continue to break down cultural barriers, teach people to trust, to believe, and to have faith in each other, as you do with your fellow graduates. Surely it is through collaboration, rather than xenophobia, that we can really make a difference in the world. Graduation is an important time. It perhaps defines the end of adolescence and the move to adulthood. For many of you, it means leaving home for the first time and moving away from your parents. Time to learn to cook, to pay the bills, to do the washing, to learn to drive a car. It is filled with excitement, anxiety, and hopefully fun. It is important that we share these experiences not only with our families, but our friends. Look to your friends around the room. You have shared so much through the past years. You have shared many adventures, successes, and defeats, heartbreak and joy. Many adventures that your parents and teachers are probably not aware of. It is on the basis of these experiences that we make lifetime friends. Lifetime friends are difficult to find and should be nurtured and cherished. Although you may move away to the four corners of the world, as we have learnt recently, the world in many ways is becoming smaller and smaller. So finally, congratulations to the graduates of 2020. May you go on to live rich, rewarding lives and truly make a difference. Thank you. Now, I would like to welcome our IB coordinator, Ms. Angelique Hiscox, to the podium to present the faculty address to our graduates.
Put it a lot lower for me. Imagine yourself in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Will the anxiety that you feel today be the same in that time? This is a relaxation activity I often use before an IB exam. Generally the math exam, because that seems to cause the most anxiety. I'm seeing a lot of nodding heads on that. But I want to use it today as a reminder. I've tried to get in your heads the mantra that DP is not the source of my angst. I can say DP has been the source of my angst these past few months. But the reason I want you to follow that mantra is really working out what is the root cause of your emotion. You know, when you've got fear of exams, fear of results, you know, in 10 years' time, is that fear that you feel about what you're going to achieve going to be the same? Will you remember that fear? So this is something that I want you to take, even though we didn't have the opportunity to do the math exam in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years. How will what has happened today impact my life? And you can choose to take the memories that you have today and use them for good, or you can choose to dwell on the negativity of what's happened in the last couple of months. Really, the potential and your limits is up to you. prom, last day of school, the exams, prank day. My office probably appreciated that there was no pranks this year, but many of you have probably thought about what you have lost. But I want you to remember that this time that you've had in isolation has only been a very small percentage of your schooling. You know, most of you have been at school for 14, 15 years. So for 6 weeks, 8 weeks of isolation, really you've got more memories of time in school than you have out of school. So hold on to those memories. I want you to focus not on what you've lost, but what you've gained. You are in a unique situation that you have maintained your friendships through distance. One of the biggest problems students have when they leave high school and go into college and go to different countries, particularly for international schools, is you don't realise how easy it is to have a friendship when you see that person every single day. You guys are on Snapchat, TikTok, FaceTime. I mean, I probably don't know all of the technology that you're using nowadays. And you're only kilometres away from each other. You've learned to strengthen your relationships before you've even graduated. So what's another couple of thousand kilometres there? You know, the technology, the internet's still available and you can still maintain those friendships. Some of you are upset about the final of exams. Some of you may have gone in the opposite direction and probably heard some celebrations that night. But I want you to remember that numbers don't define you. We get so wrapped up in our schooling about, oh, I got a 7, oh, I didn't get a 7, I was 1 point away from getting a 7, oh, I got a 2, I failed, that sometimes we don't look and think, what did I learn? You need to focus on what you learned, not what you didn't learn. The skills that you obtained in your schooling rather than what you didn't obtain. And if you think back to the last 14 and 15 years, you guys have come so far. You came to school without being able to say the alphabet, read a book. You know, most of you, or all of you, can write a 4,000-word essay. I'd say that that's a pretty big achievement in the time that you've had in your education. As your DP coordinator, I openly admit I grieved your exams. I grieved your exams more because I'd already done all the seating charts for your exams. You can have them as souvenirs if you want. But I used my 1, 5, 10-year activity, and I realised all of you are more than what you would have written on those papers. Through IB, you have learnt to be balanced, compassionate, and principled learners, and I know great things have come to all of you. Yes, there may be times in your life that you feel you have failed based on society's definition for failure, but don't let it hold you back. Grow from it. So now I ask you to think forward 10 years' time from today. You may not be sitting in the black box in 10 years. Who will you be? Where will you be? Who will you be with? Take the lessons that you have learnt these last 13, 14 years whilst in school. Develop a roadmap for the future, but don't be defined by it. Embrace change, but remember the past. We are all so proud of how far you have come and how much you have grown, and we can't wait to hear of your adventures.
Thank you, Mrs. Scott. It is my I think we're just resetting everything. We're live streaming still? Okay. Just wait for the lights to come back on. Talk amongst yourselves for a little while. Maybe Mr. Ollie can come and tell a joke. Just waiting for a go-ahead from everybody, and we'll proceed with our speaking. Hopefully this is the one interruption we'll have for today's proceedings. For those people watching the live stream, we're just waiting for some of the power and technical issues to come through, and we will be back online hopefully very soon. Thank you.